It's time for our first watch along of the season. Let's get into it. Yes, this is Radio Tekkers. I am the magnificent Matt Willis in the host chair this week, and I'm joined by the man who will punch you in the face if you take his pulse, the Texas gentleman Tanner Pruitt, and the man who genuinely believes Cadburys are thieves, his podfather himself, man.
Not Cadburys, Nestle. Cadburys have done nothing wrong to me.
And I believe he goes by Podfather Schmags now.
Yeah, it's Schmags now. It's Schmags, Tinner, and Mitt.
To be fair, in my defense there, Cadburys make Whisper.
They do.
Is that what it is? All right.
Yeah, he genuinely believes they are thieving chocolate from him.
I believe the masses have been brainwashed. That's all I believe. That you are buying fresh air in place of chocolate. But before we get into the kind of the irreverent humour of a Radio Tekkers Watchalong, I think it's important to mention that we had the passing of a footballing legend over these past few hours. Gerd Muller, record-breaking German striker, unfortunately was taken from us. So yeah, this episode is dedicated to the memory of Gerd Muller.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, I mean, that's a really nice touch. Obviously, legend in German football, just legend in world football in general. Magnificent guy, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. He scored 68 goals in 62 appearances for Germany, or West Germany, it's known back then, of course, and scored 547 goals in 594 games in 15 years at Bayern.
And what a fitting tribute it was for him to still be around to see Robert Lewandowski break his record. So thanks for everything, Gerd. It was a pleasure being able to see your football.
Auf Wiedersehen, sir.
Indeed.
Right. How to move on from something so poignant. We're about 10 minutes or so away from kickoff, gentlemen. It's been quite the weekend, as we've already brought out the some of our rapid reviews and reactions to some of the games this weekend. Thank you for everyone who's been watching them, by the way. It's been very well received. Gentlemen, all three promoted sides started really well until the 30th minute yesterday for Norwich, of course. It's been an interesting weekend. Some things are back to as you were, and some things not yet. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, I want to kind of put a little bit of a blast on one of our friends of the show, Steve. He said that this week will be a tight week in terms of goals scored. Jesus wept, he couldn't be more wrong. This has been so exciting. From the first match on Friday, Brentford versus Arsenal, with the crowds being back and the result. It's been amazing. It's been so much fun watching football again with fans back. It's hard after a full year of not having fans in the stadium to remember just how much of an impact that the fans had. And I think with them being back, it's give all the players a lift, and we've seen some absolutely outstanding performances. We've seen some goal of the season contenders. It's been a brilliant start to what's going to be a superb season. Absolutely.
Tanner, your thoughts on what you've seen so far this weekend, of which you've seen a lot?
Oh, yeah. So I think it started in the way that we presumed it would start. I mean, obviously, we had Chelsea with a high-flying start. Manchester City starts today against Spurs. We're going to see what they look like here in their march towards, I believe it's the 6th Premier League title, is their hope. Yesterday, we saw a Manchester United of old, which should send shivers down the spines of Premier League rivals everywhere. And I think Liverpool looked really great too. The test again is, obviously Spurs being without Harry Kane, could they put an early dent into Manchester City's title hopes this year?
One would say it would be something of an upset if they were to go without their main goal scoring talisman. Of course, let's not forget that Man City only added to their firepower with Jack Grealish, of course. Has anyone in particular stood out for you this weekend, gentlemen? No, anyone that stood out like he's been the man of the weekend so far?
There was
Paul
two.
Pogba and Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. For me, it was those two. No, you're absolutely right. I could wax lyrical about their performance all day long. We know that the skill of Paul Pogba. It goes without saying, but he's always been a kind of an emotional player. If he's not into the game or if he's feeling upset, he goes missing on the pitch. This was a Paul Pogba with a smile on his face, playing the most clinical football that we've seen him play in a Red Devils shirt in such a long, long time. And then you couple that with a midfielder with the clinical just accuracy of Bernardo Silva and not Bernardo, Bruno Fernandes. Apologies. It was a match made in heaven. It was a brilliant game to watch, and it was just for a neutral. That was the best way to kick off a season.
I'll also throw down Mohamed Salah assisting 2 goals and scoring one himself. He's now the only player in history to score a goal on opening day in all 5 of the years that he's been there. So for 5 consecutive years, he's scored a goal on opening day. No one else has done that. And then again, he assisted both Firmino and who else? Jota, yes, thank you.
Indirectly assisted Jota, yes, but
the Firmino one was glorious.
Yeah, it was
brilliant
pass.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10 in the old days, he would have gone for goal himself there. So he was very good. As a Liverpool fan, I was happy to see that.
Yeah,
I was also very pleased to see a young gentleman score on his first team Premier League debut, I believe, in Trevor Chalobah.
And a great goal too.
Yeah. Oh, it was contender of a month already.
It was a rocket of rockets. I'm sure people got flashbacks to the Frank Lampard days of Chelsea.
Yeah, and he's been in the club since he was like 4 or 5. He cried his eyes out when he scored, and I don't blame him one iota. The crowd adored him for it.
It meant so much to him.
Yeah, he's had quite the journey. I mean, he's not been at Chelsea for years. I mean, he keeps getting loaned out here and there, and either used or not used. He's had quite the journey to this point, and now he scores this absolute killer goal. And yeah, it just makes things all the better.
Indeed. Good morning to Conor McCabe in the chat as well. Yes,
hello,
good morning.
Sir.
Good morning to Tanner, Meg, and Matt. And as the man himself says there, never taking crowds for granted again. Echoing what the gentleman would have been saying, how crucial those games have been this weekend already, with the fans back in almost full capacity at Old Trafford. Wow, every ground been either capacity or near capacity, and I have loved it.
Simon, our friend Simon, of course, also Radio Tekkers affiliate,
leader of the Victor Lindelof fan society.
I like how it's a fan society and not like a fan club.
Fantastic. I've got something I heard about Man United this morning. Apparently, according to the Manchester Evening News, Phil Jones refused to give up the number 4 shirt for Rafael Varane, despite the fact he's not played for the club since January last year.
Well,
you live in hope.
A lot of bloody hope. He's now behind Lindelof as well now.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's not like Rafael Varane's God-given right to take the number 4 shirt. I mean, I'm sure it's nice of him to ask politely.
I don't think he was asked. I think I've got a relative feeling that he was probably asked by Solskjaer to give that shirt up, and he said no, pretty much.
I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a number. It really.
To some people,
it ain't that deep.
Some people it's a number. Some people it's way more than that. I mean, look at some players. think it was Pizarro at Inter had number 18 because he couldn't have number 9, and actually put a plus sign between the 1 and the 8 on the back of his shirt because he wanted number 9 that badly, and Vieira wouldn't give it up.
That's sad.
It is a little bit sad, but some people, it means a lot to them. I don't get it.
Connor McCabe in the chat says he's had fun this whole weekend except for Friday. He doesn't want to talk about Friday.
We'll talk about Friday.
I mean,
My brother and
Friday,
Arsenal fan.
Friday's going to be talked about. I'm sorry, Connor.
Yeah,
It has to happen.
that's the Radio Tekkers adopted team of the season.
Brentford, kicking some ass
Top of the
early.
league for 24 hours.
They were indeed, and they're still right up there, to be fair, Max. They're still right up there, to be sure.
Yeah. Money ball, yeah.
Money ball, exactly.
The money ball system is working so far. We are one game in, but so far it's productive.
Should we take a look at the starting lineups, gentlemen?
Indeed, if you'd be so kind. So.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull that one up here. We'll go ahead and take a peruse here of the old starting lineups for what is it? There we go. Tottenham versus Manchester City. So Tottenham, we've got Hugo Lloris in goal. Let's see here, Tanganga. I've seen his name before. I'm just not sure how you would pronounce it. Tanganga, I believe, is the correct pronunciation. Sanchez, Dyer, Reguilon in defense. Skip and Højbjerg in the midfield. Bergwijn, Dele Alli, and Lucas are starting just above them. And Heung-min Son is starting in the Harry Kane position here in this 4-2-3-1 position.
The interesting thing is looking at the subs bench, you've got Doherty, Romero, Winks, Brian Hill, Sissoko, Lo Celso, Galina, Davis, and Scarlett. There is no Harry Kane in the squad at all.
And the Man City bench is loaded still with amazing talent.
The Man City bench is better than most teams' first 11. It's ridiculous.
Indeed. We've got, let me see here, Moraes in goal. We've got Mendy, Ake, Ruben Dias, and Joao Cancelo in defense for Manchester City. Ilkay Gundogan, Fernandinho, and Jack Grealish in the midfield, followed up by Raheem Sterling, Ferran Torres, and Mahrez in attack. It's been a while since I've seen all these names, so I'm gonna have to.
It is a bit so much. You forgot to call him Edison so much in goal.
Mahrez, you know who it is.
Indeed. So, gentlemen, we are a couple minutes away from kickoff. It's time for just to know, in case you weren't aware, football is back.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football and Soccer AM gags, unscrupulous agents, designer-clad wags, diving furores, referees on trial, abysmal pundits like Jamie and Niall. Big Six obsession, handshake snubs, foreign channels in backstreet pubs. Radio phone-ins, white van rage, media partners on the same page. Betting banter and betting play. Jim White's ego on deadline day. Projects, brands and revenue streams devalue cups and weaken teams. Half and half scarves for consumer fan. Dressing room selfies on Instagram. Obsessed with wealth, but ruined by greed. The best league in the world? Oh yes, indeed. Football is back. Tottenham host the champions. Next on Tekkers.
Very nicely done, man. That was...
I'd like to single-handedly thank Christopher Nolan for that one.
Yeah, I feel like I should have come back on screen with a Batman mask and just done the rest of the show like that.
That sent chills down my spine. That was absolutely really good.
Are we underway yet, gentlemen? Or
We've
just literally kicked off right now. That was perfect timing.
Yeah, I've got. They're standing over the ball here on my end at the moment.
I better pause it. Then.
I have paused for your benefit. At this point, as they presumably about to take the knee, we of course remind everybody there is no room for discrimination in any walk of life, including football.
Indeed. Big game for Heung-min Son.
Yes, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I think he's up to the challenge, as he's proved time and time again with Spurs. He can definitely be that leading man. It's just, how do you replace a man like Kane?
Mm-hmm.
We asked that question about Messi. How do you replace Messi? How do you replace Harry Kane?
You don't. With someone like Messi, you rebuild. You have to rebuild.
And we have kickoff.
Here we go.
Spurs, Manchester City. This is going to be a fun one, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. This was,
or a 0-0. Or it's going to be a Tekkers original 0-0.
It could be indeed. So yes, while you are here, throw down in the comments below what you've been looking forward to this weekend, and if you got what you wanted. I know that Conor McCabe, of course, he wasn't too pleased with his team's performance, but I'm sure that they would have enjoyed what happened. Me and Tanner, very happy with what we got. Maybe less so much.
I mean, I like Connor's positivity about Son having one of his best goal-scoring seasons. I think he may struggle to actually reach the peaks that he's reached. I mean, he's been absolutely on form for 3-4 years, and he's kind of got this sixth sense with Harry Kane. So whether he can quickly learn that with a partner, or even take that role on as himself, we're going to find out in this upcoming season.
I mean, how special would it be if he did it without Harry Kane? Like, that would be.
I mean, he's got that. He's got that. Definitely got that skill set. I mean, he was lethal last season. Absolutely lethal. So yeah, we'll certainly see post Kane Tottenham. If the rumours are to believe that he's going to be going to City for 150 million.
Tottenham breaking here.
Ooh, a ball over the top, almost got to Son. We got Lucas out on the wings, looking to try and make something special happen here.
Actually, Demon in the chat. Well, that's something a bit special. Thank you, Miss Holly.
Yeah, compliments all around here to Matt on his video production skills.
That I haven't done video production on that scale before, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's not happening every week. Because I haven't.
Well, it has to now. You've got to bring that kind of energy for
rough tackle,
West Ham versus Leicester now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm promising nothing.
Well, and I will. I'll be checking my emails, making sure we didn't get a
foul on the edge of the box. I think I'm maybe just ahead of you guys.
No, it's happened here. Jack Grealish fouled right on the edge. I mean, that's what you pay £100 million for, I guess.
He's got the same haircut again now.
I think what he did.
He got
because there's been a lot of controversy about his hair recently, and
we are going into that.
The tabloids.
He affected more people than himself. Let's just say that with his choice of haircut.
Mr. McCabe in the chat thinks it was inside the box.
It looked like a foul inside the box to me, but
very close.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think what Jack Grealish did is he just simply parted his hair differently, or slicked it back differently.
He had a trim. He had it.
Maybe just like
he's wearing the Alice band now, so
yeah. It looks like Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez are standing over the ball.
He's thinking of the right foot here.
We've also got Ruben Diaz and Jack Grealish making a bit of a wall as well.
Splitting the wall, splitting that Tottenham wall in half.
That's kind of
it's a new tactic. I like it.
I've not seen this before.
And it almost worked. That was a really well taken free kick by Gundogan. Just a little bit over.
Yeah, Gundogan's a heck of a player. And I really hope, for all intents and purposes here,
it was actually a clearance by the wall. Just got a little flick on.
Oh, okay.
At the risk of getting roamed out here, the empty had is not so empty today, but I don't think it's full still.
Well, I think it's at Spurs, right?
Yeah, it was empty.
So the empty head is indeed empty.
That's very true.
Brilliant.
Yes,
brilliant. Matt's attempt at a joke falls clearly flat.
Hey, you know what? I just pick up the pieces, It's all good.
To be fair, this is why Matt doesn't host the show.
And that was another close chance. Fernandinho beating Lloris to the ball.
Interesting question.
Let's see here. Connor McCabe in the chat asks, where do you think Spurs will finish this season? I'm predicting lower mid-table. I think it's going to be a real battle between them and Leicester this season.
And Leicester?
Really?
I think it's going to be really to try and make those European spots. I really think that
Leicester will be European sort of me. I think you're giving Tottenham a little bit too much credit. To be honest,
I mean, to be fair, they have improved.
Who else is up there? Just tell me who else is up there.
I'm saying that Leicester will be in the European spots. I didn't say that they'd be in the Champions League, but Tottenham, I've got a similar opinion to Mr. McKay.
Oh,
City looking very, very dangerous right now.
A bit of a snatch there.
Yeah, I think I've got Tottenham outside the European spots, around about 8th. They have improved in terms of bringing in some players. I mean, Romero has got the potential to be a star. Brian Hill looks like he could do some great work. But if you lose Kane, you lose 75% of your goal output.
So here's the thing. This is why I'm saying that they're going to be battling for European spots. Report earlier today, Spurs will be holding on to Harry Kane until next season. That's the current arrangement, the current rumors and news going abound right now as far as Harry Kane's concerned. So if he's in the squad, I think they're going to try and make that one final push, one final presentation for Harry Kane saying, yes, we can be competitive, we can be in range, we can meet these goals that you're wanting us to make. But, I mean, you got this one shot. You got, this is it.
This seems to be the promise that he's been given for 5 seasons.
Oh, I don't disagree. I'm just saying, if you have Harry Kane, you have a chance.
I think that
great
just because they're not letting him go doesn't mean at the same time that he'll agree to play.
I don't think he's that kind of person where he would essentially go on strike. I also don't believe that this transfer deal is done and dusted just because a red top says so. There's been many huge transfers happen on transfer deadline day, and we've still got 2 weeks of the transfer season to go. I think there's definitely bumps in the road for this.
Spurs on the counter, Son out wide.
Wouldn't it be something?
I mean, Liverpool sold Torres on transfer deadline day.
That's true.
In the winter window, and then they went on picked up Andy Carroll and Luis Suarez.
Andy Carroll, who's now without club because his home team Newcastle didn't want to keep him.
Transfer deadline day, of course, we will be covering here on Tech, of course. At the door window sounds shut, of course.
Mm-hmm. That might be a late night.
It's like Christmas.
That might be a late night episode for you gentlemen.
It's a Tuesday evening, so that'll be quite fun.
It's an 11 p.m. Deadline as well, I think.
Indeed. All right. Electric Demon in the chat. With Kane equals Europa League. Without Kane, 8th or 9th. Yeah. Completely sense. Completely agree.
Unless Son steps up and can be
and just brutalize
the new Kane.
To be fair, anyone else you could step up.
They've no more Lamella as well. So no murders. We won't see any murders on the pitch.
I don't know. You might have like Brian Hill or this Tanganga. I mean, he's looking like he's trying to make a name for himself out there on the pitch
like a
right
Pokemon.
now.
Yeah. There's a Pokemon called Tangela. So if it's in the tongue,
there's no L there.
Interesting. There's no Ndombele in the squad either.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a tactical, like a tactical thing by the new Spurs manager, Nuno Espirito Santos. Santos. There you go. Santos. Santos. But yeah, a little bit odd note in Ndombele. Was he not a Mourinho transfer?
I have no idea. I think he may have been, but he was still one of the bright sparks from Tottenham last season. I mean, let's not forget that flick goal that we got to watch live on this show. How amazing that was, and for him to not even be in the squad when you've got the likes of Winks and Sissoko in the squad. Interesting.
And who knows? I mean, obviously, we're reading a lot into this about it being day one, like match day one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It could be a fitness thing. It could just be like he wants to give Dele Alli a chance here. And there's a
corner give him. Ooh. Tottenham was saying it's a goal kick, not a
corner. So anyway, Google has provided, and Nuno has said that Ndombele was frozen out of this week's squad because he didn't perform in pre-season, and he's not at the right level to be with this team in terms of competition. So
was he not with the France squad? I thought
no. Brian Mason left him out of the squad at the end of last season due to poor fitness condition and injury.
Sounds.
So he didn't make the French squad.
Awful. No. Electric Demon in the chat again. We're talking Spurs Arsenal right now. Here's Spurs take on City. Electric Demon asking who will finish higher, Spurs or Arsenal. I'm thinking Spurs. Yeah. Nothing against Arsenal fans. Nothing against Connor in the chat.
I'm thinking Arsenal genuinely will.
Arsenal looked like trash on Friday. I'm sorry.
I can't help but keep remembering the tweet by a friend of the show, Fabrizio Romano, when he said after the first game, he did a number order of the league, and he said, it's too early to read too much into what's happening in the league. Let's see how it stands come May the 22nd, 20th, Arsenal. Brilliant. Just that was the tweet of the week for me.
Arsenal will not finish. Arsenal will be fine this year. They'll be comfortable top half.
I think if they get Odegaard and they at least keep hold of Lacazette or Aubameyang, they will still be mid-table, top half of the mid-table, I suppose. But it's not looking good. Moneyball absolutely capitulated Arsenal.
Which is like a really interesting like full circle kind of thing, because like Arsene Wenger used to be the champion of Moneyball. Like he used to be he was the poster boy for how to spend in a very free way, in a very conservative way, get high quality talents that are maybe not looked into else otherwise, and make the most out of them. And now 20 years on, we've got Stan Kroenke running Arsenal, spending lots of money, trying to help support and prop up Mikel Arteta, and it's not working. And they got beaten by a team that looked into the stats and the data and the analysis and picked up great players like Ivan Toney, who I'm trying to pick up on the waiver wires right now. But, hey, we'll see what happens to Arsenal. I don't think they'll do bad. I don't think they're going to get relegated, but I think that it's not this season.
Yeah, they're not a top 6 team anymore, unfortunately.
To be fair, one game does not make a season.
You're absolutely right.
One game does not make a season, but the symmetry, again, about symmetry with Brentford, their first game back at the top flight was against the team that sent them down 24 years ago.
And that stuck in Mbuemo's and Tony's craw. You could see they were getting revenge for their great granddads.
It was still a certain amount of satisfaction about that for sure. I will say that playing their first game against a big team and they are a big club, Arsenal. We're not only playing well; they are a big club. Well supported throughout the world.
I think they're a big club financially.
Yeah, a brand. They're a big brand.
Yeah, for sure. So that's quite a scalp to get first game. However, whether or not they can keep that going, Brentford, is anyone's guess. Arsenal will bounce back from this. How long they're taking to do so is anyone's guess, unfortunately. To answer the question directly from Mr. Paul Tolley, Arsenal will finish above Spurs by at least 2 places, in my personal opinion.
What? And yet again on Radio Tekkers, Matt shows his whole ass. That is a bad take.
You can't be a death right?
Brilliant.
I think that there's some context too that we have to answer to about Arsenal here, as Ruben Dias over the top here, trying to get Jack Grealish, but to no avail. City. God dang. Arsenal.
Ding, 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 ding.
And Connor implies this in the chat as well. People need to realize this isn't the early 2000s anymore. We're in a rebuilding phase. That's true. Arsenal have been rebuilding though for at least 10 years. But the fact of the matter is they now have, and Mikel Arteta is seeing this, they now have a crop of youth players, whether it be Bakayoko Saka, Balogun, who started in place of Aubameyang yesterday, Smith Rowe, lots of great players who are in the mix that, I mean, they'll be fine. They're gonna do well, but they need time. Martinelli, again, another great player who was cutting his teeth on Friday. They've got a lot of potential.
It's Kieran Tierney
finding their way.
Kieran Tierney put in a great performance against Brentford, and he certainly did not deserve to be on the losing side. It boils down to, again, the issue that I had with Arsenal last season was that the core of the team is not strong. The people who should be leading the line and really kind of instilling confidence in these young players were weak. The bigger names were weak. They were anonymous against Brentford. And if you're going to struggle against Brentford, you're certainly going to struggle against the likes of Leicester or Arsenal or Tottenham. Sorry, you're going to struggle against the likes of Manchester United, Manchester City. It was, that probably won't be much of a struggle. But you get the sentiment that this should have been Arsenal laying a line in the sand, saying this is how we are going to play, and they got demolished by a Brentford side.
Yep, absolutely. We've got looks to be maybe a throw in here for Manchester City, with Joao Cancelo is about to throw in. This will be very, very interesting here. Lots of talk about what the current crop of results has been for the this first run of games here, match day 1.
Newcastle fans, of course, right now. Let us know how you're feeling right now after the first half,
and Watford fans. Everybody and their dog had Watford pinned to be rock bottom of the league. And they started their season really well. So whatever team you're a fan of, let us know of your thoughts of the first game week for your Premier League team.
We have a new commenter, by the way, below. Nigar Bomber over on Twitch. Thank you for watching there. We didn't get a prediction, gentlemen. 2-1 City, they're saying. What are we thinking?
I think that's a good prediction. We didn't really do predictions here at the start of the show, but
we didn't, which is unlike us.
It's because we had a 90-minute Christopher Nolan special to get through.
No Joker appearances. I was a bit
10
bummed
at
out.
2.
No, it was a great video by Matt. I absolutely loved it. I think City should win this one at least 2-1.
I don't. Based on this weekend, 4-0 City, but who knows?
4-0 City. Wow.
Matt already getting put in his place by Nigar Bambo, not Nigar Bomber. So, apologies for that.
I apologise. I deeply apologise. Welcome.
Tolly confident in the chat, saying 4-0 to City. Yeah, for me, I can't see a Tottenham being able to score. I think there's just quality all the way through this City side. The issue would be they're still not playing with a recognised striker. So yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-0 City.
I feel like it would be closer because if I'm not mistaken, Nuno Espirito Santo has definitely upset Pep Guardiola in the past. So tactically speaking, I think he's up to the task here. It's whether the players are up to the task as well. Yeah.
And as we say, that City are on the break. They had a little bit of dangerous possession then, but just couldn't get a shot off. Very resolute defending by Tottenham. They just can't seem to keep hold of the ball, though. And City, again, regain possession.
And City come again and again. It's nice to see they re-signed Fernandinho, because we both mentioned, Mags, in the last season, how they released him, of course. And they re-signed him. It was a no-brainer for me.
So here in the first 20 minutes, City have had 63% of the ball. Spurs have yet to have had a shot until then. Steven Bergwijn with the first attempt. Not a good one, but at least it's an attempt.
Yeah, dealt with it well.
Corner to Tottenham.
It's going to be an interesting season, I think, for Tottenham. I mean, they're finally able to fill their stadium fully, so their fans are demanding things change for the better. Because even with all of Harry Kane's efforts last season, they just got into the UEFA Conference.
Yeah,
which that's going to be a lot of fun if you're a really hardcore fan of football. You like the I don't want to call them smaller clubs, but if you like a niche style of football.
Do you know what? I'll probably watch a game every now and again because like you say, sometimes you get a chance to find out stuff about clubs you never heard of before. Sometimes,
exactly. Maybe Matt may even bring Radio Tekkers patented rapid reaction to conference football.
That would be fun.
It seems so easy to do, but it's really difficult when you're doing something like that on your own piece of camera.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing it, but it's so difficult.
I mean, you two record and edit it anyway. You should just do what I do. Just go live with it. Turn your mic off. Don't let anybody hear anything that you say. I apologise for that. I was so excited about the start of this season that I forgot to turn my power supply for my mic on.
I didn't.
Props to Tanner for actually having my back and letting me know. That's teamwork, sir. Teamwork.
To be fair, Mag, I was like editing at all.
I was super excited. I was like, I want to hear what Mags has to say, and then it was like
that first part was for our hard of hearing audience.
Brilliant.
You got it. Closed caption special. So make sure you have closed captions on. But yeah, in all seriousness, we really hope you guys like the shorter style content, the news stuff that we're putting out, the instant match reactions with rapid reaction. Check all that content out. We'll make sure we have links to that kind of stuff here at the end of the show. But yeah, check that stuff out. It's some primo content, and we really appreciate all those who have already gone ahead and done so.
Son with the free kick. Edison comes out to rush, and unfortunately, it goes out for a Tottenham throw. Gundogan cleaning up in defence, really solid defending there by City, but Edison came for that ball and was denied.
Well, a little bit of a collision there too. He'd had to rush back to goal.
We're talking about Arsenal, gentlemen. I also saw the news that Arsenal made the news because of the president of Rwanda was extremely angry about Arsenal's loss to Brentford. I don't know if you saw this or not.
The president of Rwanda?
Yes, because his government sponsors Arsenal.
Okay. And he was angry about Brentford winning.
Yes. He did that. Well, I'm going to paraphrase, extremely paraphrase. He wasn't very happy that the team that they give 50 million quid to a year was losing to a team that got promoted.
I mean, to be fair, you couldn't have any better kind of advertising to visit Rwanda. Do anything apart from watch Arsenal. Go and visit Rwanda, for example.
Oh dear! They just for political balance at this point, Rwanda has been criticised for doing that. However, the president claims that the amount of money they're making in tourist revenue pays for itself. Last year they haven't been able to have any tourists in Rwanda, of course. So, not entirely sure that's accurate.
Of all the tourism spots in the world that I know I want to visit, Rwanda is pretty high up there.
It is a beautiful country, in all fairness. Cutting through your seething sarcasm, Mr. Man.
I was being legitimate.
It's too fair. You get all of these countries which have suffered horrific things throughout their histories, but they're beautiful countries. Beautiful countries.
Raheem Sterling tries to make something happen here. Jack Grealish also looking around. I guess there's a stoppage.
Was a free kick given then because he just stopped
and
then picked up the ball?
Yeah, I guess that's the interesting part of watching this on mute, and I'm sure that you guys are doing the same at home.
I've got the volume up slightly so I can hear if anything happens now.
But yeah, I mean, we don't really get to hear the whistle or hear the commentary because we are the commentary. We're just interpreting what we're seeing.
Exactly.
I feel for you, Conor McCabe in the chat. Arsenal v Chelsea next week. That won't even be a game on Arsenal's end. To be fair, I remember Chelsea once started a house of fire once, and then the next game they played Liverpool. After Liverpool had been trounced in the first game, Liverpool beat Chelsea. So and
it was the proudest day of Matt's life.
It did shut up a lot of Chelsea fans at work that day for sure.
Was that the Robin Van Persie game? The one where Van Persie just took the game by the scruff of the neck and just demolished Chelsea. Yes. Yeah, that was a good time. Good time for Arsenal, and that's the kind of thing is like Arsenal show up for those rivalry games against Chelsea and Spurs.
We need to. Don't talk about it any other time. And here comes Tottenham now, who are showing up all of a sudden.
Ooh,
offside given. No, flag face down.
And solid defending. Was that Fernandinho that blocked a shot from Lucas?
It was offside
anyway.
The flag has now gone up for the second part of play. I'm thinking there.
But it shows that this City team are not infallible, and that offside call is very tight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to City's credit, they regrouped and got.
No, it's offside there, Mags.
That offside was the second call, definitely.
Yeah, because they've changed the rules now with the offside and VAR. They've got much thicker lines now, so it's not going to be like a toenail or a shoelace anymore. It's going to be clear offside.
Thank
God. That was an issue. For me, though, the more glaring one was when parts of the body that you cannot score a goal with were still deemed as offside. Like people were offside with their arms, which was just unfathomable to me. Indeed, Mags, and hopefully this will help address some of those concerns. It won't clear up all of them. I dare say some people still argue that it's not being applied properly. My stepdad being one of them.
but you got to start somewhere. And if that one's able to help it better, then that's good. Let's not forget, it's not the system that's at fault; it's the people who are interpreting it.
Do you think that Jack Grealish, pound for pound, has the biggest calves in the Premier League?
I think his very, very tiny shin pads accentuate them.
Like the lack of socks and the small shin pads.
Yeah.
Do you say abs or ass?
Calves, like his calves.
Calves.
Yeah, like the part like below your quadriceps.
I thought you said abs. I thought, where are you getting this from?
Yeah,
very possibly, yes. I was thinking, what are you talking about his shin abs? God, my mind's just on Finn Balor all the time, isn't it?
Let's see.
Oof, that was interesting. A little bit of a
Davidson Sanchez hugging Pep Guardiola.
not hugging him, but almost bowing to Pep. Then
a little bit of sarcasm,
but
perhaps.
Jack Grealish is doing exactly what City paid 100 million for. He's drawing fouls. He's scaring defenders. He's been in the middle of pretty much every City drive forward so far in this game.
Does he look happy though, Max?
Maybe
he looks like he's drowning in
money.
Money.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's that. If they
David
mistake,
Sanchez
but the fact matter is that money doesn't make you happy, Max.
It
helps,
doesn't.
But
I wasn't really meaning money.
Yeah, maybe Davidson Sanchez was trying to appeal to Pep Guardiola, saying,
"Sign me."
You're looking at the wrong Spurs player. It's me who you want.
And Spurs now breaking. It's 3-on-3.
Well, Spurs on the counter here. It looks like there's a Spurs line out to
great
Son.
ball.
Son needs to fire here and does not.
They took way too much time, and now you're back in droves.
Yeah,
eight City players back now defending.
All City players are now back.
Tottenham still kept hold of the ball though, and well away from Ake. Confident defending by Ake there.
And I think this is a perfect example of missing Harry Kane, because typically he's out wide, he's looking up to find Harry Kane. Harry Kane is not there to finish and put it away.
I question the money to sign Ake, but you can't argue he's a good player.
Yeah. I mean, Guardiola loves players who can be positionally astute, but also distribute the ball. Particularly when you're a defender, I don't think that defense is necessarily like, he's not looking for people to rush in and make a tackle. He's looking for people to just be in the right place at the right time. And that's exactly what you get with Nathan Ake.
And I think Pep is also someone who lacks versatility in players. Kind of like what you were mentioning. Then Ake is the kind of defender who can bring the ball out and play some football in midfield with it. So I think he's definitely a Pep style defender.
Indeed.
Someone came in the chat. Well, gents, I've got to go have some lunch with some friends. Enjoy the rest of the game. We will, sir.
We will.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, feel free to come and catch the backup later on demand. It'll be on the YouTube channels, of course.
It certainly will.
The YouTubes.
And whilst you're watching, definitely give us a like and a subscribe. We're really making a push in our sophomore season here at Radio Tekkers to be your go-to place for alternative commentary and analysis. So a like and a subscribe would certainly be appreciated.
Exactly, and
Ori in the chat has just ruined it all.
Ori the draw will be. We will speak to her in private about that, Tanner, I'm sure.
Yes, go Man United. To be fair,
she should be very excited. She should be very excited as a brand new Manchester United fan. I mean, yesterday was a great introduction to her being a Manchester United fan.
For sure.
I would love to hear her thoughts on what Raphael Varane brings to the team. Manchester. I think we should get her on the show for that very purpose.
I think she would be quite the draw. Pun very much intended. Yeah. At the same time, as a 5-goal babe. To be fair, Ori knows her stuff. For sure.
5
I
goals.
will warn you, Ori. It ain't all gonna be sunshine and rainbows. It's sometimes going to grind one out every now and again.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
It's not all Solskjaer time.
I mean, Manchester United set a great precedent for themselves yesterday. So,
but unfortunately, you've got a bar, and that everyone knows they can hit now.
Who?
If Everton done like 2-1, then it would have been like we now know they can score 5.
Well, yeah, we know they can score 5. They also showed that they can also miss quite a few shots that they took as well.
And concede.
Yeah, as we continue to say in the chat, didn't get up to watch the game. It was too early.
Yeah, fair enough.
One swallow does not make a summer, as the saying goes. And as we say that, City almost score. Oh,
Mahrez, how did you miss that?
How did Mahrez miss that? The ball comes across the box. All Mahrez had to do was calmly place it into the corner, and he's absolutely fluffed it.
Connor is giving Ori a suggestion as to not watch your own team while streaming on Tekkers because we are cursed. I mean, yes and no.
We proved that last year that curses aren't real. Liverpool won.
We broke that curse.
Yeah. So anything goes this year. Anything. It's all up for grabs. Does anyone on Radio Tekkers have an irrational dislike of a player like Souness?
Yes.
Pogba?
Yes. Matt has an irrational dislike to Thiago, which makes the no sense in the world.
It hurts my feelings, really.
To be fair, last year he needed to do better. This year, I'm hoping he does much, much better. I'm reserving judgment on this season. Yeah, so Sergio Ramos, unconditionally, he should be in jail.
I mean, there's ration behind that, though.
I mean, there's actually legal precedent for that suggestion.
He should be in prison, and I also have no time for Kylian Mbappe.
Tale, don't appear on Tekkers. The curse is real. And if you'd like to be a guest on Tekkers, just send one of us a DM. You're more than welcome.
Slide into our DMs, either at Pop Mags, at Radio Tekkers, at @TekkerGentleman_, or at MattTech UK. And we'll be happy to have you on at some point during the season for a watch along, or maybe just in a chat.
Mm-hmm. We are always open to working with our fellow creators in the football world and beyond. So yeah, definitely come and join in the fun.
Speaking of joining in the fun, what's happening here? We've got Hugo Lloris who's sprinted halfway down the pitch. I had an argument with the referee.
It looks like there was a foul on Tanganga, and it also looks like Tanner has disappeared. Unfortunately,
it looks like. There we go. We're just rearranging until he returns. But yes, anyone who's joined us in the chat, welcome, of course. Let us know who your teams are and if you enjoyed what happened this weekend, and if you if there's anything that your team needs to pick up before winter is done and dusted, then let us know. We'll have a read through of them, and we'll get to them at halftime, if not before.
And one Tekkers curse that does seem to be very real now is the 0-0 curse. Even though this game's been pretty entertaining in terms of attacking football, we've just not seen any goals yet. As we started last season with plenty of 0-0 draws. Still plenty to play though. Coming up to 38 minutes almost. Still City 0, Tottenham 0.
Indeed, we apologise for Tanner disappearing. He's lost power due to a storm in deepest Texas. So he'll be back with us as soon as he is able to put some cables back together and locate some fuses, etc. So yeah, we apologise for that. Yes, Tanner in the chat directly saying stupid rainstorms.
Stupid rainstorms and also dial-up internet, Tanner.
Absolutely.
Maybe if somebody worked at Verizon, they could get themselves a decent internet package with unlimited internet and perhaps a phone thrown in for only $99 a month.
Maybe. We've got a comment here from Hazard Chelsea FC 10 in the chat.
Hello, Harry.
How are you, Harry, sir? I'm happy with how Chelsea did today. I feel confident we're going to be at the very least real title contenders. If we sign Koundé as rumoured, I'm ultra happy. It'll be very good signing for you, for sure.
Let us know, Harry, what you think of the return of Lukaku and how that may affect the likes of game time for Werner.
Personally, I think that if you go to Lukaku, you don't need Werner.
And as we say now, Spurs are breaking. Poor ball though, and
very poor.
Easily cleared up, and now it's City who are on the break. Again, Jack Grealish in the middle of everything, feeds it out wide to Sterling.
And it's slowing it all down again. Now,
great.
And now he's beating men for City.
This is the England Sterling. What is going on?
And now Spurs, it's 1-on-1.
And Son takes a shot.
Good save.
What a save! I mean that. He's the referee hasn't given it as a corner though. He's saying it's a goal kick. It looks like, but that was he took a lot of time to get that. I still think he's in the kind of mindset of looking for his attacking partner, but he created a lot of space there. Edison with a slight touch, maybe.
Oh, it's hit the back.
It's hit the back. Yeah, it's definitely a corner.
And it's not given at all. Now at City at the other end.
Mahrez looking to get a shot off, rolls out for a City corner. Harry's come back and said, I think Lukaku is going to return with a vengeance. He has a chip on his shoulder as the last kick he had in the Chelsea shirt was a missed penalty versus Bayern in the Super Cup. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think everywhere that he's gone, he's been absolutely dominant. But you look on his record for City and it's glaring that he wasn't that dominant striker at Chelsea, So I think he's definitely got something to prove there. I think he comes back as arguably one of the best strikers in the world.
I would say that if you were talking about most complete strikers in the world, he'd be him and Harry Kane are probably the top two strikers in the world. Ronaldo isn't a striker; he's a forward, but he's not a striker.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Lukaku for me is that he's obviously fast. He was labelled a flat track bully at Everton and at Manchester United
and at Inter.
But I think he's really added strength. He's added control. He's got two great feet. He can finish from absolutely anywhere in that final third. I think he's a complete striker. I think he's going to be a force to contend with at Chelsea.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do for sure. I'm going against Liverpool. Sorry, Harry. I hope you have a bad one against Liverpool. I'm sorry, mate. I do. Spurs are coming into this game a bit more fun now, aren't they?
Yeah. Son firing a shot over the bar there, but they're having a hell of a lot more chances in this last 15 minutes or so.
Unless my hearing was going wrong, Max, I genuinely thought you were about to say "ha" and Harry Kane for a minute.
I may well have been doing. It's just hard to picture a Tottenham side without Harry Kane in it.
It'll be hard to picture Kane in any shirt other than a white shirt. Because even in England needs a white shirt, of course. So we've got about 2.5 minutes before half time. This half's gone by really quickly.
Yeah, City have been in really slow build up until Grealish gets the ball, and he's the one who kind of seems to have been pushing the pace for City, but. Yeah. There's a huge kind of like dichotomy with Spurs. When they get the ball, they are powering forward. The likes of Bergwijn, Son, Moura are all flying forward, and it's really interesting to see the differences in style between the two teams.
If one little example of what this first half been like, both sides have now had 6 shots, none of them on target.
Yeah. And this was a Spurs side whose first shot actually came after 25 minutes.
He's back with us. Have you testing?
Mic check.
Breaker.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Hey, hello. Hi. Can you hear me? Hey, look at that. What are we doing? This is
Stop it.
There we go. All back in position.
Yeah, this
I was just saying, Tanner, before you were hit by lightning.
Yes, I'm okay, everybody.
Yes,
it was just a flesh wound.
6 shots for each side, none on target. As City back again, blocked again by the Tottenham back line.
Yep, 6 shots each, 0 on target, and Spurs have had 32% of the ball. That just shows how more clinical with the possession that Spurs have been. As soon as they've got the ball, they are powering forward. City have almost been nonchalant in terms of pushing the pace. How is Sterling playing so far? He's been relatively quiet. He's had a couple of chances where he's broke into the box. He's actually beating people, like Matt said earlier. It's more like the England Sterling than maybe the City from last season Sterling. But there's still plenty to go in this game. I think him and Grealish are going to form a formidable partnership.
It's been a really fast first half. To be fair, both teams going at it best they can. They've cancelled each other out pretty much. Both defenders have been pretty solid, which is good. Both sides lacking a real striker as well. But fair though.
Yeah.
So Mag, you might actually be right, and maybe actually be the first 0-0 season. But very enjoyable
it's a Warbreak Tekkers tradition. The first 6 games that we'll pick will be 0-0s.
1 minute added on at the end of the first half. Spurs with a late throw.
Are you all at about 45-33 right now?
45-30 for me.
Yeah,
okay.
Same for me.
All right, so I'm actually a little bit ahead.
Couple of seconds, yeah. And here comes City again, put up a large chance in the first half. Let's see. Spurs clearing it out for a throw. No, it's not gone out. Okay, so they kept it in.
This is probably going to be the last attempt of the half as we get to that 46-minute mark. Ball whipped in low, clear by Spurs, and the ref blows a whistle. Half time. Spurs 0, City 0.
Indeed.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Thoughts so far?
I've got to say, I think Son's been lively, but as Matt has been saying for the whole of the first half, he keeps looking for a partner that isn't there.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a very steep learning curve for Son, I think, this season. If Kane does leave, for him to be the target man, the talisman, I think him, Lucas and Bergwijn are going to have to really start working together unless they bring somebody in the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, I think this is all very much a week 1 kind of thing. Might be another couple weeks until we see Harry Kane back in a Spurs shirt, but ultimately I think he will be here at the end of at Spurs at the end of deadline day. Come next year, though, I think that's a big difference. I think that he's on his way out. I think this is his last season.
For me, though, the issue is next season he's 29 years old, which he's not getting any younger. He's had this issue with Tottenham for the last 3 or 4 seasons where he's wanted to win trophies, and they just haven't had the ability to do so. It's not like it's the first time he's had these issues with Spurs and Liga. I mean, the rumor is that they had a handshake agreement that he will be allowed to leave this season. If Liga is reneged on that deal, you can see a Harry Kane that may be willing to drag his heels and kind of try and force the move.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible.
I will say that every single
yeah.
newspaper is waiting to use the headline "Citizen Kane," aren't they?
That's an awful pun.
Yeah, but
I'm certain
every single paper will use it.
Yeah, 100%. Like it feels right. It feels like the right news headline for everybody, except for Spurs fans, of course. So, yeah.
If you want a bit of content, by the way, in the crowd during the game, they focused in on a Man City fan who's with her a written on cardboard sign, like you see it wrestling. Kane come to the city to ease your pain, and the Man City fans were genuinely singing at the Spurs fans, "Harry Kane, he wants to be blue."
Well,
the banter's already started. Fans back in. Banter's going to start.
I mean, it was inevitable, right? Like it was going to happen with this opening day matchup. Like that there's going to be banter about Harry Kane.
I mean, the absolute scenes if he does a Carlos Tevez and does a press conference in a City shirt, that would be amazing.
I mean, yes. I just don't think that Harry Kane's that kind of guy. I just don't think that that he would do that to Spurs. I could be wrong.
I mean, you're dealing with Daniel Levy, who is notorious among Premier League owners to be a hard work to deal with. I mean, Southampton have said that they will never work with Tottenham again because of the way Daniel Levy does business. So I can see Kane having to maybe be the bad guy in this situation to force the move.
That's definitely possible. It's definitely
Twitter
possible.
is erupting about this game, and unsurprisingly, of course. Obviously, if you're on Twitter, hit us up at Radio Tekkers, at PodFarmMag, at TechGerman_, and at MacTech UK. People all saying the same sort of thing. Both teams are missing Harry Kane, which is pretty much accurate.
Let's. I want to bring up something that I saw yesterday that I thought was really interesting because we're talking transfers, kind of, sort of, right? So yesterday at the PSG opening game for them, or not, I don't think it's the opening game for them, but PSG was playing at home yesterday, and when Mbappe was being subbed, there was much booing of Kylian Mbappe, particularly after Lionel Messi had been introduced at halftime. So, Kylian Mbappe, could he be? I mean, could the writing be on the wall for him finally? I know that PSG's president said nothing's happening this year, but I mean, could something happen next year?
I mean, he has openly courted other teams, and that's the big issue. How many times has he said in press conferences that he's impressed with how Liverpool play, or he's always had the dream of playing for Real Madrid? When you are out there courting the enemy, you are going to rile up the fans. The problem is he's been a great servant for Paris. I mean, this is a kid who's still not yet hit his peak, and he's putting out record-beating numbers. Do you fight tooth and nail to keep somebody like that at your club when they quite openly want to leave, or do you cash in and then hopefully get another youngster in who could potentially be as good?
Matt?
If you're PSG, you've got the money to buy who you want back, let's face it.
That's true.
And they clearly think about FFP because, FFP doesn't matter for shit now, as Man City have proven. PSG also... Well, PSG, I think they should cash on Mbappe, and I think he should come to Anfield. But...
oh, you snake! You absolute snake!
You've double-crossed everything that you said last year.
Of course, I'm joking, of course. I want him nowhere near Anfield, and if he does, nowhere near a penalty. Mbappe will go where he wants to go, and that will probably be Real Madrid because they are a, quote, big club. But Real Madrid can't afford to buy him at the moment, so it'd be a case of someone has to pay money for him if he goes this window, which, if you've got Messi and Neymar and Icardi and everyone else in front of him, which he hasn't got in front of necessarily, but he got to compete with them. And Mbappe is used to not competing for places.
And that's a big issue that a lot of fans are kind of not really kind of comprehending. These huge clubs have no money. They are massively in debt. The likes of Inter Milan, the likes of AC Milan, Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid. You can be linked to these clubs all day long, but the funds are not there to bring these players in. The only team with real finances are in the Premier League, or they're in Paris, where they don't care about FFP.
Or the occasional club in Germany, odd club in Germany, of course. I want to quickly highlight something that happened in France yesterday, and that being that the league champions were swept aside by their ex-manager, who got them to a title last season, when Nice won 4-0 at Lille. With Casper Dolberg scoring in under a minute, and that was the good part for them anyway. Obviously, it was 4-0. It was 4-0 quite easily.
And the defending champions are 2 places above relegation.
They're
so
16th,
far.
I believe, in the table with 1 point,
which is shocking.
PSG obviously are long away. Clear at the top. Yeah, I fear for any French team that will try and compete with PSG long term, because yes, they did a great job last year, but keeping that pace, as Monaco proved, is not easy. I think one had to sell Mbappe to actually stay afloat. And as if to prove your point, Mags, of course, Hazard. Harry from the Andy Football Pod. Real Madrid can't not only afford Mbappe. La Liga have implemented salary caps, which meant Messi and Piqué had to take pay cuts and leave.
And even with Messi leaving, they still are not able to register those new signings because they're still way above the salary cap.
Still no Aguero then.
There's even I think maybe I cut off Mags here, but I mean, there's even the talk that Aguero is trying to seek legal advice on whether or not he can actually get out of said Barcelona agreement because he's not able to be registered by the club.
And he signed for Barcelona because he wanted to play with Messi. Yeah, him and Messi are essentially related. I think is Aguero married to Messi's sister or something like that. There's some sort of family relationship there, and the fact that Messi has gone has meant that Aguero doesn't want to be at Barcelona, and you can't blame him.
I mean, Gerard Piqué took that wage cut, as Harry was saying, and because of that, they've been able to register Depay and Garcia, but not Aguero.
Aguero is married to Gianna Maradona, who is the daughter of the legend, the late great Diego Maradona. But he is, of course, a very close friend of Lionel Messi, and they're typically roommates during any Argentinian national team play, going all the way back to about 2005. So
there's an incredibly close relationship there, and that was the real reason why Aguero signed for Barcelona, and now that's been taken away from him because of poor management in terms of Barcelona and their finances. I can see Aguero having a case to have that contract nullified.
Well, according to a report I've got here, Barcelona made a statement saying more pay cuts in the pipeline. Apparently, Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets are set to take wage cuts as well. Emerson,
they probably saw the press conference and it scared the crap out of them. They probably saw the press conference and they were like, "This is what it's come to."
I mean, I have to give props to those players at the end of the day. They could easily say, no, the terms of my contract say you pay me this much. And it shows a love for the club that they're willing to work essentially for half of the wage. So props to those players. I do think that there's a wider argument to be had about whether players are paid way too much money now, and there needs to be some sort of a firm introduction of a salary cap worldwide in terms of football. But yeah, I do give props to the likes of Piqué and the likes of Busquets for being willing to play for less money.
I do like the term salary crap now. I think
salary crap.
I'm gonna start using that in normal dialogue.
Emerson's back at Barcelona now, and he's been re-registered for the squad. But Aguero was left off the list apparently because he recently picked up an injury that will keep him out of action for 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
That's why he's not been registered yet. Ooh. That's what one report's claiming. I mean, if that is the case, then that's terrible, obviously, still.
So, Matt, before we get into this second half, as it quickly approaches, you've been very adamant that you see the French league as a farmers' league. Does the likes of Wijnaldum, Ramos, Messi all go into that league? Does it bring it up in your estimation?
No.
Obviously, your hatred of Ramos aside.
No, it doesn't, Mags, because they are not scattered around the entire of the league. They're playing in one club. Okay, one club's got all the good players. It's like you go to a party and one person has all the cake. Okay, it's not much of a party, is it?
Well, again, and I'm going to bring up the same argument that I made to you last year, in that PSG lost. PSG lost the league last year,
and they lost the Coupe des Champions as well.
Yeah, I mean,
well, to be fair, they had a manager who can't win leagues in charge last year.
I love Matt's hot takes. This is
fair,
brilliant.
He's never won a league title. That is fair comment, is it not?
I mean, all I gotta say, I really only have to say this.
That genuinely made me jump out of my skin then.
I knew it was coming that time. You love it.
I think this year I'll watch more Ligue 1 than I have probably ever. Not just because of Messi, but because I guess it's that intrigue that Messi brings now that he's in this league. I mean, for what Matt is saying, yes, it's generally looked at as this really non-competitive league. But I'm wondering if all these stars that PSG have brought in, obviously now that we're about to kick off again,
yes,
I'm wondering how this is going to raise the game of the players that are in the French league. I mean, I feel like that's going to make everybody step up to another level now that they have to contend with Gini Wijnaldum, Donnarumma, Ramos, and Messi. They all got this really big celebrity appearance at halftime, and all this fanfare.
We're back on the way again.
Yes, we are underway here for the second half, guys, and we appreciate you guys for sticking around with our little halftime talk here.
Indeed. Yeah. I stand by my comments, to be fair. There's nothing against the players who play in that league outside of PSG, but the fact matter is that all of these big names went to PSG. They didn't go to Monaco, they didn't go to Lyon, they didn't go to Lille, they didn't go to Nice. They all went to PSG.
So in your mind, does a farmers league, does it qualify to be a farmers league if the stars are there, not the fact that it's competitive?
No, a farmers league is not competitive. Last year it was a fluke. PSG win the league 99% of the time without money behind them.
I mean, that's a statistic, an inaccurate one. I don't think they've won the league 99% in Ligue 1's history.
Since they've had the money behind them.
Spurs?
Oh, it should have been 1-0.
Yeah, Spurs
just
had
over a
moment.
minute into the kickoff as well.
Oh, man.
I dare say I'm going to regret that comment for sure. But in my opinion, those players go to not raise the other teams around them. All they do is give PSG more of a chance in the Champions League.
I think that's a simplistic way to look at it. I think the fact that
that's made it simple.
I think the fact that you're playing against those level of players week in, week out will make you raise your game as a professional footballer anyway. So I think there will definitely be that kind of a knock-on effect for the rest of the teams.
Well, they'll need to, because
I will certainly be watching more Liga than I watched last season because of the stars there. So more than I'll watch any La Liga, I think.
If I watch one game, that'll be more than I watched last season.
You are such a salty.
I don't watch Liga.
I think you should. I think you should give it a try.
I will fit it in between my gaming, my F1 watching.
I think you should watch Le Havre versus Montpellier.
I think that sounds like a cracking.
Isn't that a rugby team?
We could change this whole show dynamic and it can just go be like Radio Tekkers.
Oh, that sounded slightly xenophobic there.
So anyone who had xenophobia on their bingo card, tick it off now.
Yeah, fake accent as City are on the attack. Great little twist and shot,
accent, isn't it? And Spurs breaking now. Nice little break and all. Oh, yep. That's a strong tackle.
A thumping tackle.
All right, so
I've shot done from long distance.
Drags shot.
Yeah,
I've done the research, and let's see here. PSG has been in charge of the Qatar group have been in charge of the of PSG for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be their 10th season in charge, and they have been piped to the league 3 times since then. So they've actually only got a 66% chance of winning the league on a given occasion. Or they've won the league 66% of the time that they've been there.
That's still a pretty good average.
And that spells disaster for them at sacrifice.
There you go.
Hashtag star math.
No, it's now maths because 66 is less than 99. Last time I checked.
Substantially.
It's
33%.
Anyone who's ever watched Good Cop, Bad Cop knows I can't do maths. But that's beside the point. My point stands.
Yeah, I do get your point there. They are dominant in France. Let's not beat around the bush. But
they win every trophy, and if they don't win,
he's literally proved you wrong. They don't win every trophy.
I didn't mean that literally. But
out of the last 2 available French trophies, Paris have lost both, so they've got a 0% batting average.
You're right on that one, man. But let's face it, when you see PSG, you think, okay, well, who's going to lose to them, usually?
I mean, here's a stat. Messi has won 0 trophies at PSG so far.
Brilliant. And do you know how many goals has Messi got at PSG as well?
That's another fat 0.
I don't know if you know this or not yet, guys, but I actually put a bet on with Sky Bet for PSG
for 10 pence
for PSG to win no trophies this season.
And what odds did you get for that?
I'm just getting to confirm
it. Like 1,000 to 1.
They were not that high, unfortunately.
In fact, Harry in the chat coming again with some mocking of Matt. Says the players used to go to Monaco. Rodriguez, Falcao, Mbappe all came through their ranks. Bernardo Silva, Matinho, Abidal, Fabinho, Martial, Mendes. Yeah, I mean there was a 2-year kind of a spell where all the top talent was coming through Monaco.
Yeah.
Now if PSG win no trophies in this season, it's 14 to 1.
So you'll get back £1.40 for your 10 pence bet.
I didn't have 10 pence on it, Mags.
I bet you put 50p on.
No, 15.
15p.
15p.
Yeah. So you mocked me for saying 10 pence, and it was literally another 5 pence on top.
Absolutely, Mags, because you were wrong.
So instead of £1.40, you will win £2.10. Brilliant.
Spurs here with
Yeah, 225 including stake. Yes, but that's still very short odds. I think
when the fun stops, stop.
Do you not think that 14-1 is short odds though? For that
of winning nothing. I mean,
winning nothing this year.
Speaking of winning nothing, Spurs looking a little bit more aggressive here in the second half.
Apologies to Spurs fans in the chat.
I'm not sorry.
You still get trophies for second place, don't you?
The Conference League. Son here on the attack, though, looking to maybe link up here.
Oh, the ball's come through. Oh,
Spurs playing some nice football. To be fair, some lovely ones.
They are.
Spurs looking great here.
A foot taller.
Oh,
wow. My word.
Did he even make contact with that? Did Lucas make any contact whatsoever with that?
I think he was too short for it.
Checking it
because that went off for a throw-in.
He did. He just reflected right off the top of his head.
That went. I mean, that was a header from almost inside the 6-yard box, and it went off for a throw-in level with the 18-yard box. So he put backspin on that ball for it to go further away from the goal.
Spurs win the ball back there from a Man City throw.
Spurs have started this first half really brightly, really taking it to City.
Well, they have to. They absolutely have to right now.
Indeed.
And again, City slowing the pace of the game right down. Happy to keep possession and just frustrate Tottenham, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, that seems to be the case so far. Grealish on the counter.
It's interesting that it's only when you see Grealish on the ball that City flood forward. Even with Sterling on the ball, there's no impetus to attack.
And I have to say,
and again, Spurs come away with the ball and they're straight down the end of the pitch.
Spurs are dealing with everything that's thrown in that box very, very easily.
Son on the right-hand side, he's dribbling, takes a shot.
Oh, that's a great finish, Son. You absolute legend. Picked in my dream team. Maybe going back to the top of the league. What a strike,
There goes 2 clean sheet bonuses from me in my one.
What a great strike. Son made that goal all himself. And again, it all comes down to the fast breaking of Tottenham. When they get the ball back, they are up the other end of the pitch as quick as possible. Son at the edge of the corner of the box, really kind of having to make the chance himself, and that's a glorious strike.
And notice the celebration. Son with a bit of an ear to the crowd here, almost to say that there's life in Spurs without Harry Kane.
We want to see more of this in the first
some
half.
of the critics.
He's one of their own, Heung-min Son. He's one of their own.
Absolutely.
He was even able to go back to South Korea during the lockdown to serve his military service, so he didn't interrupt any of his Spurs playing time.
Yeah, I think they exempt him from that, didn't they?
No, he went back home and did it during lockdown back in.
I think instead of having to do the 2 years, though, he only had to do 6 months because of you can get like a celebrity kind of status almost, where you don't have to. It's essentially just a ceremonial position.
So now the champions must come from behind.
They do. And maybe now we'll see City have a bit more pizzazz in going forward.
I do believe, Tanya, you're slightly ahead of us now.
Yeah, I think I am. What's your time right now?
55-53.
Okay.
Same.
All right. Let me know when you're at 56.
Oh, I'm past 56. 56 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah,
Cancelo on the ball. He takes a shot.
Yeah, and he can say has scored me some goals now. Damn it. He was looking good for my clean sheet for a while, but not so much. It's a really good finish as well.
It's a classy finish.
To jink inside here, bang, And even the best defender from last season can't stop that. 1-0 to Spurs. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is rocking right now. And there you go again.
You can't blame them. I mean, that was a fantastic moment there, especially to start your season like that.
Absolutely.
Do. So yeah, it looks like Spurs proving us wrong here so far. Though I think somebody in the chat predicted earlier a 2-1 win. I think
yes,
or a 2-1 win for City. So who knows? That might still be on the cards here.
Yeah, my 4-0 and same for Mr. Tolley's out of window now. I was sure that City were going to do way better than this.
Yeah, this has not been a defending champion style performance so far.
Are City the worst? The worst.
Tanner, wouldn't it be if the defending champions thing continued to go? It's like the same way for like half a decade now. The reigning champions couldn't defend for toffee. Let's obviously let theirs go. Chelsea let theirs go. We let ours go.
Yeah,
City let theirs go against us.
Yeah, I think that, and there's different situations for each of those teams, right? I think that part of it too is City in the way that they play. If you punch them in the mouth, it's hard for them to get back. Punch them in the mouth. So
they're the Ronda Rousey,
metaphorically.
So they're the Ronda Rousey of football.
You're saying they've got a glass jaw.
Yeah. They're usually not the team that when put against the wall that they're going to come back swinging.
Ronda Rousey, if you're in the chat, let us know how you feel being compared to Manchester City.
I'm sure she'd be fine with it.
Do you think there's an air of arrogance to this City side? Because up to now, we're talking an hour into the game, and City haven't really, outside Jack Grealish, showed much effort.
And Spurs breaking again.
Lloris with some heroics in goal. Oh, Spurs.
Oh, that's a through ball.
Son and Lucas collide.
How did that not score? How did Bourgeois not score then?
It should have been 2-0.
Clear on goal. Only the keeper to beat.
Mag, talk us through it when you get every play. Because you're really good at doing that.
I mean, nobody at all was picking up Bourgeois, and then he was totally free.
If you're listening to us on podcast later,
the way the ball came through him, it was almost through deflections, but he had plenty of time on the ball then. Should have been a goal.
So there was a midfield collision between Son and Lucas. Lucas ended up sorting it out and getting the ball, and then he just a brilliant through ball to Bourgeois, who skies it basically in a one-on-one with the keeper, and it's just.
If you're listening back to this on podcast form later, Tanner had his head in his hands.
That could have been the moment, man. That could have easily been the moment.
The blue touch paper would have been lit.
I mean, for all the burial that we've done of Spurs' chances in the league without Harry Kane, this front three of Mora, Bergman, and Son, if they can get their scoring boots on, this could be an interesting forward line.
That they can be lethal. They're
we've
so
seen,
quick.
Absolutely. I mean, it's City have got some pretty fast defenders, and they're getting run ragged by this.
Torn apart would not be too. Would not be too. What's what I'm looking for here?
Dramatic.
Harsh. I gotta say.
Apropos.
Potpourri.
Yeah, that too. I've got to say, to answer your question, Mag, that you posed earlier, I do think there is a certain arrogance to Man City. I think that they said on sometimes, especially the newer fans they've got, expect them to turn up and win.
And I don't even think it's so much the fans. I think this performance, it's just for me.
It's a lazy. They're being lazy.
Yeah, it stank of arrogance, like they expected to turn up and instantly win. Spurs, with all the kind of pressure on them, with all the talk of Kane, they've needed to come out and have a huge performance. And
no foul given. Spurs
for 60 minutes, Spurs have been really, really good. And again, they break as a team. Oh, that was a really nice ball, really well weighted. Good defense, a good goalkeeping by Edison. But this could be a dangerous front three for Spurs.
There's something we're not talking about, gentlemen, of course, about this game and all the games throughout this weekend, is that all the teams that struggled last year didn't really struggle this weekend.
Burnley struggled.
With the odd exception, having the fans back in, it gives them the players now have something to answer. Have people to answer to immediately. At Man City last year, they could strut around because literally they had no one on their backs the whole time. No one on their backs at all. Whenever Man City came up against any kind of fans when they were playing, there was a very small window when fans were allowed in. Man City weren't as electric. They got the job done.
Yeah, they cruised to victory so many times, and we said it time and time again on this show. They weren't really dominant in terms of playing and attacking. They just did enough to win.
City a corner here.
I think it can't be understated enough just how important fans being back will be this season. We've already seen teams who maybe didn't have the best transfer windows come out and perform way over than what was expected of them because fans were back. I mean, Everton were outstanding. The West Ham versus Newcastle game earlier on today, it was a joy to watch. Man United were superb. Chelsea were absolutely brilliant. Brentford were a joy. It's going to be a fun season. Well, Liverpool were tolerable.
I mean,
you're saying that because we're here.
Yeah, Meg's purposefully leaving these other teams out.
There he is. We're seeing Daniel Levy in the crowd, looking nonplussed.
I think that's his general disposition.
That's his happy face.
This is my happy face. You never seen Man of the House? It's a great film.
No,
it's a great Tommy Lee Jones film.
Son draws the foul.
That's so good doing that. We have 25 minutes to play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The stadium that is extremely expensive and has no sponsor. But the people who inhabit it are beating the champions.
You were so salty about the slightest things. Like, you're angry that a stadium costs a fortune and isn't sponsored. It's brilliant. I love you, man.
Anfield's not sponsored.
But that cost like 3 and 6 back in the day, though.
But it's got a name. They've named it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, you got something against that?
It's
I mean, I don't like Spurs any more than you do, but like,
that's the sort of name your stadium gets called when you create a generic stadium on Football Manager.
You just have these hills that you are willing to die on.
Absolutely,
they're all horrible.
Yeah, they have a bit of a scrap for the ball here.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, Lucas! Oh my gosh, it's about to get violent.
I don't understand how Lucas is the only one getting booked there. He was being manhandled.
Yeah, Ruben Diaz needs to get booked for that, if anybody.
Well, I think it might be for the actual foul.
We're getting a slow motion there, and the foul is he wins the ball. The issue was the wrestling between Diaz and Moore. Then for me, Diaz looked way more the aggressor.
I'm very glad that they did get booked for my fantasy team, but
I personally don't see how the ref gave that back to City. It looks like Lucas won that ball.
It's getting a little bit testy now here on the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium pitch, sponsored by Tottenham Hotspur.
It just seemed a bit odd they didn't rename it White Hart Lane.
Because it's not.
It is. It's right there.
But
White Hart Lane was named because of the street the stadium was on.
Yes.
So it's not
It's
there.
still there. They built it on the same stadium spot.
Yeah, but the history's not there.
Nor was Wembley. Wembley was demolished and they still called it Wembley.
I mean, I guess I still don't agree with the hill you're dying on.
So I guess Matt prefers 7-Up Stadium for Tottenham Hotspur.
I'd like them to give it a name. Just don't call it Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Just call it a name.
Keurig Stadium, brought to you.
Tanner, how angry would he be when he sees the naming of US stadiums?
Oh, it'd be awful. It would just be it's terrible.
I'm not massively happy about seeing things called like the Emirates and the Etihad. I'm not happy with ground being called that or the sportsdirect.com stadium, which was what they called it.
That is a lot of American stadiums, though.
Yeah,
I don't like that personally either myself.
The Pizza Hut Stadium.
So what do you want to call it? What do you usually
what do you call it? I just call it something. Fred. Put it Fred.
You.
What, sponsored by the Manchester United player?
All right, Fred Stadium, and it's got him and his statue like out front.
and we are now actually getting a recognised striker on the pitch.
Gabriel Jesus coming on. Who's coming off, Mag? Do you reckon?
I don't recognize him, but it's fine.
I think maybe Mahrez could come off.
The camera's focusing on Mahrez.
Or perhaps Gundogan, who's had a quiet game after that early free kick. I was actually hoping we'd get the Gundogan that was absolutely just destroying fools last season.
A house on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, well. There seems to be quite a discussion over who's going to take this
Quite a
free kick.
distance as well. Lloris should have a lot of time to see this.
Yeah.
A little bit of trickery there. Pushed out wide, whipped in, and it almost worked.
Out.
It almost worked. Ferran Torres almost finished that then.
The defender took one for that, though.
Is it Højbjerg down on the floor?
Højbjerg. Højbjerg or Højbjerg, whatever you fancy.
Yeah, I'm Northern English. It's Højbjerg. I pronounce every letter without fail.
Thing is, though, does it happen?
A bad first touch by Torres there. Opens the door for Højbjerg to get the challenge in, and it looks like it actually came off Højbjerg last for the corner. And it's Sterling going off.
They've hooked Sterling.
I mean, not surprising. He's had a relatively quiet game, more attacking than he was for the majority of last season in terms of taking people on, but yeah, he's not been the force that he was for England.
Well, we'll see if Gabriel Jesus can be the force that City are looking for here. He's got big shoes to fill now that Sergio Aguero is not there anymore.
Aguero didn't play. He had a cup of coffee last season for Man City. You can't say that he's filling Aguero's shoes.
Matt, and he's just when you think Matt's takes can't be any worse, he hits you with those gems.
Oh, God.
To be fair, though, Jesus played more than Aguero did last year.
And he didn't play very well.
If you look at the records...
I'm not talking about the record. I'm talking about the fact that everyone's saying, oh, who's replaced Aguero? Aguero didn't play fuck all last season.
No.
They already replaced him.
But that's not the point. The point is that when Sergio Aguero is Manchester City's
the legacy.
Alan Shearer, that's their guy.
Let me ask the question by changing the question slightly, Tanner. Okay?
So let me not answer the question.
No, I'm going to ask.
what you're saying.
Jamie Redknapp, when he was at Liverpool, okay, tell me, remember Jamie Redknapp?
Barely.
Oh, when Jamie Redknapp left Liverpool, he hadn't played for him for a year, and they said he's the new Jamie Redknapp. Redknapp hadn't played for a year, so who gives a damn?
That is not the same. That is not the same. Jamie Redknapp, as good as he was, isn't looked at and revered for Liverpool as Aguero is revered.
Like it's not even like Luis Suarez levels of like it would be like it'd be like Kenny Dalglish leaving.
Yeah, that's more like it. Or Ian Rush.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's fair enough.
No, he's the new Joel Matip. He's the new Dietmar Hamann.
Dietmar Hamann was a good player.
He's the new Dirk Count.
Yeah,
another good player.
He's the new Vladimir Smitzer.
He's like I said, he's very good. But
the fact of the matter is, though, Aguero hasn't played for majority of last season, so I think that argument
had a legacy, and that legacy is now on Jesus to live up to. And last season he didn't live up to that,
which is why they're shopping around for Harry Kane.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
if the rumours are to be believed. But I can see a City not getting Harry Kane and relying on Jesus to be that target man. They won the league with it last season, even though he was not that good. And many times they played without a recognised striker.
And the fact that they won the league without a recognised striker, they started without him today at the head of the table, as it were. I mean, in my personal opinion, that means that Guardiola does not trust him to lead that line.
Well, yeah, I mean, what this boils down to is that this is Gabriel Jesus' moment to prove to City that they don't need to spend upwards of $200 million on Harry Kane.
Mm-hmm. And also, Jesus played in the Olympics for Brazil. So,
yeah, there you go. Ooh.
Perhaps he wasn't match fit.
Whipped in cross there, does not make connection.
City come away with the ball, though.
I do love bantering with you, Matt. I really do.
I love it. I do love living up to it. I don't necessarily believe all of my takes for real sometimes, but sometimes it makes entertainment. Oh, great save by Lloris.
And again, it's Jack Grealish that is in the middle of the City attack.
So we've been making a really big deal about this all show long, is that Jack Grealish seems to be the only outlet for City so far. Is it City trying to play to Jack Grealish, or is it Grealish just trying to, like, I don't know, lead? Yeah,
but I mean, I don't think it's as simple as that. I think City in general. And yeah, just we'll wait till there's a break in the play. Edison picking up the ball there. I think City in general have been slow, lethargic, lazy, as you put it earlier, almost kind of guaranteeing the win. And the only one who's really been a live wire when they've been on the ball is Jack Grealish. Mm-hmm. So I think it's him getting himself in positions, wanting to push the play forward, wanting to get on the score sheet. Nobody else really seems to be that interested for City in going forward. I mean, even now we've got 15 minutes to go, and City aren't looking to even drive forward for an equaliser. It's a weird tactic that we're seeing.
It's odd.
We've got some breaking news, actually. Some breaking news.
Ooh. Hit button.
Do you want the button? We can do the button.
The fans demand the button.
Breaking news. Breaking news per James Pierce of the Liverpool Echo and The Athletic. It looks as though Ben Davies. Do you remember Ben Davies, Matt?
Yes, he played the second half against Osasuna on Monday.
Okay. Well, he is on the verge of sealing a season-long loan move to Sheffield United. He could be undergoing his medical on Monday. No option to buy.
It's a good signing on their behalf, for sure.
Woof, though.
I mean, to be fair, Liverpool are fully stocked with center backs. They started with far too few last season, and now they have almost too many. Now that they've made competitive center backs out of Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. I don't see why this could be a bad move. But
No,
certainly is not a
it's
vote
certainly
of
not.
confidence.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's a bad move for the player and for the club. I think it's just more. It shows that Liverpool panic bought when they picked him up.
That's also on for Bergwijn.
Yeah, watch Ben Davies come back next season and
just be a killer.
Just be awesome.
But yeah, good luck to Ben Davies back in the Championship.
Yeah.
From whence he came.
I feel bad for him a little bit. I do feel bad for him.
Yeah, he gets a lot of online shtick that's a little bit misplaced, I think.
I think he's a very solid defender. I just don't think he was perhaps Liverpool caliber.
Yeah.
I think Kabak was probably more up to the task of being a Liverpool-style defender than perhaps Ben Davies was.
Well, I mean, you could definitely make that argument, though Kabak lost his place, to Phillips and Reece Williams at the death of the season when it really mattered.
That is also very true, but I think there was definitely a confidence in defenders issue at Liverpool, at least partway through last season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping on the Twitter side of things because I like seeing what the fans are saying. Man City making 2 more changes here. Kevin De Bruyne coming on.
Here we go.
Ooh, I might be able to make some points off of Kevin De Bruyne finally.
Please get sent off, Kevin.
Mahrez is coming off.
Get sent off, Kevin.
And
go punch the referee.
Looks like Zinchenko coming on.
So Mahrez coming off. I'm thinking that this pushes Grealish up forward on the wings now that Kevin De Bruyne is coming on.
Mm-hmm.
That City kit looks terrible.
Fernandinho off, I think. And I think it's Mendy
it's
off.
Mendy. So, yeah, that's a like-for-like substitution there. Zinchenko probably more attacking-minded going forward than Mendy is.
Yeah, but the thing is that Mendy was the one getting skinned on the right-hand side in the first place. Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure they improve their defence.
Yeah, Mendy's certainly
Spurs!
Oh, wow. Wow,
Son
that was close by Son. Great turn. I think he's again calling for a corner, and he may have it as well because it looks like Diaz got a touch on the ball there.
He did.
And it looked like Edison got a touch as well.
He did get it.
Oh, corner ball.
Yeah,
Pep really left those substitutions really, really late.
The Twitter side of things, so a lot of City fans say this is embarrassing, and they haven't even got Harry Kane playing for them.
Edison picks that out, trying to start something, and it's
they closed down by Spurs.
And that's a slip.
Yep.
But back to Edison, a calm pair of hands and rebuild again for City. There seems to be a little bit more of a spring in the step now. They've got De Bruyne on.
10 minutes to play at the city of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Man City 0 here on Radio Tekkers.
We'll see if Kevin De Bruyne can light up some space here. And he almost makes it happen.
You'd think with KDB being on, it would free Grealish up to be a bit more further out in the wings, perhaps a bit more. I'm not sure. Grealish serves best in the middle rather than the wingman, though.
I mean, yes, I would normally agree. I mean, that's where he would typically start for Villa last season, is off on the wings, but he kind of had license to roam freely.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that's what you bring in Jack Grealish for, is just to be a live wire. And header, not even close to on target there from
Cancelo.
From Cancelo, yeah.
It was from a D.
I think that's kind of like the cool thing in football now, that a lot of attacking minded players don't have they don't have a specific role anymore. I mean, you can play someone like Grealish on the wing. You can also allow him to play right through the middle. There's definitely a fluidity in terms of attacking football, one that Liverpool really kind of mastered over the last few years.
Afternoon, Daniel Griffin in the chat.
He says he made it for the last 10 minutes. How's the game been? Very exciting.
Exciting game. And the MVP from the Twitch chats on a regular basis. Here's Watch Anime. It's Messi that stopped continue performing his best. Same thing happening to Jack Grealish. That's a spicy take.
Ooh.
Messi stopping Jack Grealish from...
No, Messi stopped Coutinho. Kevin De Bruyne is stopping Grealish.
Okay.
I think that's where he's getting it.
Well,
I mean, kind of it's a little bit early to maybe say that.
That's I'll bear that in mind. I'm going to write that one down for later in the
That'd
season.
be cool to keep an eye on.
It is an interesting take because, again, tactically speaking, Grealish was, again, just he had full license to do anything that he wanted here for 75 minutes for City, and now Kevin De Bruyne is in, and it does tactically change what Pep Guardiola implements here. So, certainly,
and I think that may be an issue when you go from being the big fish in the team, the one that the team is built around, to being a cog in a machine.
Which we did sort of see with Coutinho a little bit when he went to Barcelona, but Messi
for the very few games he played.
Messi and De Bruyne are very different players.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate your contribution, Kids Watch Anime, for sure.
I definitely agree with a lot of aspects of what Kids Watch Anime is saying.
Little pop for Dan.
Looks like so there's a glare there, Mags. He's got some Turkish delights
Turkish
there.
delight. You're going to eat that live on the stream, Mags, apparently you're going to today. So.
There we go.
Go ahead and give us a chew and let us know what you think of that Turkish delight there.
I already know before I even bat it. It's delicious.
Oh.
Delicious. Oh.
There you go.
Yep.
What happened to the?
I was gonna make him go full screen, but he'd already eaten it by the time I got there.
Oh well.
I had not already eaten it. I took a bite.
Yeah. You just. There you go.
Nom nom nom.
De Bruyne
Happy
with
to
his
be
shot.
of service, Daniel.
Kevin De Bruyne's shot saved here by Hugo Lloris.
We're on Mag's cam. We're watching Mags eat chocolate live on Tekkers.
This is just weird. I feel this is very voyeuristic. I don't know how to feel about it. Oh, hey, there you go. Look at that. It's me.
Now we're actually going to be watching him doing while we're watching him.
I am not going to finish the bar. It's very, very sickly sweet. But I made my point.
There you go.
Sort of, yeah.
Now that yeah. There you go.
The chat's lighting up about Turkish delight. The overlay meant I couldn't see Mags abusing his body without Phil from that. Thank you.
I have got a 3-pack of them, Dan, so you may see them turn up again.
Quicksand Weekend Arrow. I'm all out as it goes.
I would leave this stream not come back if that happened.
We will get back to the football chat here. We've heard what anime saying.
I know. Sorry about this, Kids Watch Anime. Give us a follow on Twitter and join in the confectionery chat to get all the backstory. But essentially, Turkish delights are delicious.
Yeah, Kids Watch Anime is summing up that Kevin De Bruyne and Messi are creative players that the teams are built around, and that when you add a new element into the mix like Jack Grealish, it kind of messes things up. And yes, I do agree to that extent that it's a different element to the team that I don't know is compatible. I think not in the positions that they were playing in like for like. At least it does seem as though you kind of diminish Grealish a little bit when you have him stick to the outside, and that seems like that's what Guardiola wants from Grealish at the moment, and it looks like it's lost a little bit of its killer instinct.
And Kids Anime following it up by saying why they couldn't play Griezmann, Coutinho, and Messi at the same time.
But the problem is when a player like Jack Grealish becomes available, you especially in a team of City's position, you have to be in the mix for buying that player, because if one of your rivals picks him up, he improves that team and he becomes then a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Last change coming on for Spurs. I don't know Twitter, so it's okay. Kids Watch Anime. Basically, Mags doesn't like any chocolate that's got holes in it.
No, not holes. Holes are fine. It's air bubbles. Like a curly whirly is fine, because
and that leaves
the
a hole in the chocolate.
It's not in. Yeah, anything with bubbles.
We might have
encased in chocolate. Holes like a curly whirly. They were not encased in the chocolate, are they?
Gonna have to get you to
listen.
Down to
that's my hot take, and I am willing to die on that hill, just like you're willing to die on the Tottenham Hotspur's stadium hill.
I would be interested to see if Dan and you switched chocolates and you guys made a video taste testing them live right here on Radio Tekkers, maybe a 10-minute video. I think a 10-minute video. Yeah,
it'd be our most watched video of all time, Dan, probably.
Mm. And it looks like Spurs might be about to send on a defender, maybe Romero making his debut. It looks like, possibly. Dan in the chat is asking,
again,
on donuts.
Again, by the way.
Listen, there's no science behind my quite clear bias against bubbly chocolate, but I will say that a donut hole is, again, not encased in donut, is it? It's you can physically poke your finger through the hole.
Where do you think Anuch pays you then?
Oh, listen. This gimmick has gone on long enough. It is a chocolate issue only. Pastry is allowed. It's just chocolate.
How about a croissant?
Croissant?
I like a croissant. The issue is only with bubbly chocolate.
It looks like Daniel Levy's in the chat. Not chat. He's in the
I mean, I hope he is. Keep Harry Kane, Daniel. You need him.
He's looking at his phone, so maybe he's watching Radio Tekkers here. I don't know. But he's definitely not paying attention to the game.
Dan Green is down low in the chat. I'm not reading that one out.
I mean, he's yeah, that's whatever. Kids Watch Anime says it may be better if Pep give time to Grealish to play, Kevin De Bruyne along with him, maybe a whole season. Yeah, I mean it would be excellent to watch. And here we get the debut of Christian Romero making his switch to Tottenham Hotspur from Atalanta, now becoming one of the most expensive defenders in Premier League history.
He has got big shoes to fill because he's literally slipping into Toby Alderweireld's role when he was a stalwart for years at Tottenham.
Yeah, true.
I've just got a text message from Mrs. Maggs, who's clearly watching. So thank you for that, Mrs. Maggs. She's saying that I'm flexing because of my Turkish delight, love. Yeah,
Mrs. Maggs, I should make sure you have all the prosecco you can drink at the reception. Only you.
She doesn't like prosecco.
Well, beer. Beer. Cider.
So that's that abuse.
Well, whatever she would like, I'm more than happy to make sure she has a supply of it for the evening.
Referee is handing out cards right now.
To who?
Grealish and
Sanchez. It looks like
Sanchez.
What happened here? Is it a little bit of handbags?
Lucas Moura. Oh yeah, that's a clear foul by that Grealish. And then he went straight up and what? I don't understand what Grealish is.
Oh, Grealish was pointing and
so man, that's going to affect your points. Grealish got booked for that.
Yeah, I mean, my team. I started with a flyer on Friday and the early part of Saturday.
But someone scored for you, so it's fine.
You guys have really caught me up, but as friend of the show, Fabrizio Romano says, you cannot judge off day one. Let's see where the league lies on May the 22nd. Arsenal.
Kids Watch Anime is asking that because Maguire was 90 mil, how's Romero expensive? Because he was, I think, 50 mil. He's again one of the most
and unproven in the Premier League.
He's certainly Spurs' most expensive defensive signing.
And it's an interesting signing as well because Atalanta were very are very
correct, Dan. Very correct.
Yeah, Dan pointing out the audacity of Grealish accusing someone else of diving. Yes, I would say that's
We're
a good
in
shout.
the stoppage time. 4 minutes of being played. We are just under 2 minutes in.
But yeah,
Spurs breaking again into the box.
Ooh,
City walking out of the box. Right?
Shepherded away by the City defence, and now City are breaking.
Spurs are hungry though.
Fernandinho actually with a bit of a save there, and Dele
Long
Alli.
ball fired forward.
I'm incredibly impressed with Spurs' work ethic today.
Tanner, you were making a point about Romero.
Yeah, I mean, he comes from an Atalanta system, which is very unique. It'll be interesting to see how he adapts here.
I mean, that's not to say that Harry Maguire wasn't expensive at 90 million. He absolutely was. But he did have a proven track record in Premier League football. I think when you bring in a defender for that amount of money, who hasn't played the very different game in the Premier League as compared to the European style, it can be a bit of a risk. Whether Romero's up to that, we shall definitely see. I mean, we've seen it time and time again where defenders who do really well in foreign leagues struggle when it comes to the Premier League.
Well, if you're buying a defender, you should buy a like from outside of the Premier League. Then yeah, I think that you should buy a defender from Serie A. I think that. Fernandinho just woke up and is choosing violence this here in stoppage time.
This game has turned into Mortal Kombat. These are just trying to murder people.
Yeah, Anime asking us Arsenal and Newcastle, who's the most useless club in modern times.
Hashtag RRP Eric Lamella. Still here in spirit.
I mean, but both Arsenal and Newcastle have their merits for being awful.
Newcastle had the game under control earlier, and then West Ham blew them away. Arsenal had a bad start of the season. Unquestionably, I do see them recovering from it. Offered to Newcastle. I think it's for Steve Bruce this year. It is make or break this year. I think if they're in a relegation fight by Christmas, he'll be out.
I think there's more chance of Watford's manager getting sacked than Bruce. Even though Watford won, they are trigger happy when it comes to
Watford seem to fire more than I do when I'm playing in D&D.
I think they've had 11 managers in 6 seasons, which is just shocking.
Just a quick note here. So as far as Christian Romero's career is concerned, he was signed by Atalanta. He spent a lot of time in Atalanta, but he has been on loan for a little while. Going to various teams, be it Genoa, Juventus, Atalanta proper. But I believe
full-time gentlemen.
Yeah. That is it. Spurs with a huge dent.
That is huge.
Manchester City's early defense of the title here. That puts Spurs in 10th place with 3 points and City in 13th place with 0 points.
When all of their rivals picked up decisive victories. All of the top contenders for the title picked up decisive victories, and Spurs absolutely destroyed. City just didn't show up. It was
got a great
poor performance.
Spurs beat the champions and are only 10th in the league because of it. Wow.
Daniel Griffin in the chat, another win for Nuno over Pep. Pep is Nuno's bunny at this point. Yes, I mean, Pep seems to be surrounded by enemies. Nuno, Klopp. I mean, even Ole is making a march on Pep with the financial spending here. It seems,
Yes.
yeah. So if you're a City fan, this is a very interesting result here at the start of the season. I would have never pegged Spurs to beat City here.
No, not in this game. Not in a million years. I would have thought that this Spurs team could have beaten this City team. It's interesting that we had no games with no goals. We had no draws in this opening.
Yes, I've never
week.
seen that before for the season.
That's so exciting. So exciting that this
For sure.
every team either won or lost. There was absolutely no kind of playing for a draw. Brilliant start to the league. And it's going to be an exciting time here on Radio Tekkers. So definitely, again, give us a like, a sub, give us a share. We want to be your alternative commentary for the 21-22 season, and we're bringing some amazing content to your eyes and ears over this year. So definitely come and join us for the fun.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We're doing a drive right now. Let's see if we can get to 100 subs by the end of August. If we can, we'll be able to have our own unique URL for YouTube. We must stress how important that is for us. So we thank everybody for watching. Just take that extra step. Give us a subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done so already. It would mean the world to us if we could. And then later on today, Mags and I will be actually joined by a debut of the Queen of NE, as well as Mr. Ray Cash. We'll be talking some NXT, some wrestling, and that'll be a lot of fun as well.
Absolutely, it will. And Matt is fuming because he wasn't invited.
I'm sorry, Matt.
If you want to come along,
It's okay. It's okay. I don't think that there should only ever be one queen on a podcast, and the queen should be on instead of me for sure. I will say, the closing statement for me is, who is your man of the match, gentlemen? I would like to point out that British TV gave it to the defender who came off Tanganga.
Tanganga, yeah.
Tanganga, interesting. For me, it's the guy on the screen right now. It's Heung-min Son. He had a lot of pressure on his shoulders with all the Harry Kane saga. He was going to be the one that essentially Spurs looked to lead the line. I think he struggled in the first few minutes or so. It's like he was almost predispositioned to look for that target of Harry Kane. But once he settled into the game, I thought he was brilliant. And his goal separated the team. So yeah, I can't not give my vote to Son.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be happy with either Son or Tanganga, as it looks like a fan has made his way onto the pitch to try and congratulate Son. Shepherded off by members of security. But yeah, I mean, Son led the line. And I think it's really, really hard to do that when you're not put into a position where, where that's been your normal role. Harry Kane obviously being the one who's typically in charge of that. And again, it just looks so interesting that Spurs have accomplished this without Harry Kane, and you can see the kind of joy in the stands here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This could be the mark of a new era for Spurs without City, and I think that it would make a lot of sense, seeing how they performed this. And maybe that's what Daniel Levy was doing on his phone, is seeing if that $200 million offer is still available for Harry Kane.
I mean, the rumor was that Kane will be having some sort of meeting with City representatives at this game. Whether that's happened or not, that's between the two. But
we didn't even get a Harry Kane sighting at all this game.
Nope. I will say, on British TV, apparently some people on Twitter lost count of the amount of times that he was mentioned on commentary in the first half. I mean, yes, we mentioned him a great
which must be which I think makes the Spurs victory even more delicious for Spurs fans and the Spurs players, because all the talk was about Harry Kane. All the talk was about him moving to City, and Spurs had all that weight on the shoulders, and they came out and proved that they didn't need Harry Kane to win this game, and they're 10th. I mean, I know it's 10th, but they still started the season with a victory over the champions. It's a great win for them.
They look a complete different team from last year. They look fresh, they look hungry, they look energetic, and they look.
I mean, last season they started very energetic. They dropped off very quickly.
I think having the fans behind them definitely helped push them on in the second half for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Man City, as you mentioned, Tanner, had no answer. My man of a match.
Maybe they needed Kane.
My man of a match. I will say, I want to give it to Son. I'm actually going to give it to. I'm actually going to give it to Lloris actually, because he made some big saves to keep him in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that Son wasn't great. I mean, Spurs as a unit were pretty impressive. They should have been won by more goals, to be fair, but they obviously missed one. Keyboard Anime on Twitch saying #Free Laporte. Yes, that's a spicy one.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure. Should we get out? Should we get out of here, gentlemen?
Let's do it. We've plenty of content still to come here on Radio Tekkers. Like Tanner mentioned, we have the NXT special report coming up. We're going to be coming at you hard and fast with the new feature, the rapid reviews. So yeah, this is our sophomore year at Radio Tekkers, and we want to make it your go-to place for football content. So definitely stick around. You can follow me on Twitter down here, Schmagsy Wagsy, at Podfather Mags Schmags. Tanner, where can the people find you, the Tennessee gentleman?
Texas gentleman, of course. You can follow me. You can follow me on Twitter at Texas gentleman _. That's my personal account, or you can simply just give us a follow right next to Mags and right underneath Matt there. Just at Radio Tekkers, RADIOTEKKERS. That's the Twitter. That's the Twitter handle.
Indeed. And you can find his magnificence at the Matt Tech UK, of course, which is where you can find me, of course. Thank you to everybody who was watching. Thank you to everybody for taking part in the chat. You guys are fantastic. We love all of you. On behalf of myself, Tanner Mags, no Kane, no problem for Spurs, it seems. We're out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you.